I used to think babysitting was the easiest way to make money. Sit in a nice house, watch TV, maybe help a kid with homework and get paid for doing almost nothing. At least, that's what I believed before the night that changed everything. Before the night I promised myself I would never babysit again. My name is Lily, and this happened 3 years ago, during my first year of college. Money was tight, and I needed extra cash for rent and books. I had been babysitting for families in my town for almost 6 months, and nothing unusual had ever happened. Then one Friday evening, I got a message through a local babysitting group. A woman named Mrs. Holloway needed someone urgently for one night. The pay was unusually high, $300 for only 6 hours. That should have been my first warning. Her message was short: "Need babysitter for my son tonight. Please, no cancellation. House rules must be followed exactly." At first, I thought it sounded strange, but $300 was hard to ignore. I agreed. Around 6:30 p.m., I drove to the address she sent me. The house stood far outside town, surrounded by dead trees and empty fields. It looked old, almost abandoned, except for one dim porch light glowing near the entrance. The sky was darkening, and a cold wind moved through the trees like whispers. I remember feeling uneasy before I even knocked. Mrs. Holloway opened the door immediately, as if she had been standing there waiting. She looked pale, tired, and nervous. Her eyes kept shifting behind me, like she was expecting something to appear in the darkness. "You're Lily?" she asked quickly. I nodded. She forced a smile and invited me inside. The house smelled old, like dust and wet wood. The lights flickered occasionally, and the wallpaper was peeling in some areas. "My son's name is Oliver," she said. "He's 8 years old. Quiet boy. Mostly stays in his room." Then she handed me a folded piece of paper. "Please follow these rules exactly." I laughed nervously, assuming it was some weird joke. But she didn't smile. She looked deadly serious. I unfolded the paper. Rule 1. Oliver must be in bed by 9 p.m. Rule 2. If Oliver says someone is standing in the hallway, do not check. Rule 3. Never open the basement door. Rule 4. If you hear knocking upstairs after 10 p.m., ignore it. Rule 5. If Oliver asks where his sister is, change the subject immediately. Rule 6. Under no circumstances enter the guest bedroom at the end of the hallway. I looked up, confused. "What is this?" I asked. Mrs. Holloway hesitated. "Just family issues. Please trust me." Before I could ask more questions, she grabbed her coat. "We'll be back by midnight." Then she paused near the door. Her voice dropped to a whisper. "If anything strange happens, don't stay after midnight." And then she left. I stood there frozen for a moment, listening to the silence of the house. It felt heavy, wrong somehow. Then I heard small footsteps. A boy stood at the top of the stairs, staring at me. He looked pale with messy black hair and dark circles under his eyes. "You're the babysitter?" he asked softly. "Yeah," I said, smiling awkwardly. "I'm Lily." He nodded slowly. "Don't go into Emily's room." I blinked. "Emily?" His face changed instantly. Fear crossed his eyes. "Forget I said that." Then he walked back upstairs. I tried convincing myself the family was just weird. Rich people had strange habits sometimes. I made Oliver dinner, though he barely touched it. He mostly sat quietly, glancing toward the dark hallway every few minutes. Around 8 p.m., while we watched cartoons, he suddenly grabbed my arm tightly. "Did you hear that?" he whispered. "Hear what?" I asked. He pointed upstairs. "She's awake." My stomach tightened. Before I could respond, something heavy dragged across the ceiling above us. Slowly, like furniture being pulled across wood. I stood up immediately. "Maybe your parents left something running upstairs." Oliver's face turned pale. "Don't check," he whispered urgently. Rule number 2. I stopped. My skin prickled. I sat back down, pretending nothing happened, but my heart wouldn't stop racing. By 9 p.m., I tucked Oliver into bed. He grabbed my wrist before I left. "Whatever happens," he whispered, "don't believe her if she cries." "Who?" I asked, but he pulled the blanket over his face and said nothing else. Around 9:45 p.m., I sat downstairs scrolling through my phone when the lights flickered violently. Then, all at once, the house went silent. Too silent. Even the wind outside had stopped. Then came the first knock. 3 slow knocks from upstairs. "Knock! Knock! Knock!" I froze. Rule number 4. Ignore it. More knocks followed. Louder this time. Then footsteps. Slow footsteps moving across the hallway above me. I turned on the TV to drown out the sound, but suddenly I heard something else. A little girl crying. Faint at first, then louder, coming from upstairs. "Mommy," she whispered between sobs. "Mommy, let me out." Every instinct in me screamed to go help her. What if there really was another child? What if she was hurt? I stood up without thinking and climbed the stairs. The crying stopped the moment I reached the hallway. Complete silence. Then I saw it. The guest bedroom door at the end of the hall was slightly open. A pale light spilled from inside. Rule number 6. Don't enter. But curiosity got the better of me. Slowly I walked closer. "Hello?" I whispered. No answer. I pushed the door open slightly. The room was freezing cold. Toys covered the floor, all covered in dust. In the middle of the room sat an old rocking chair moving gently on its own. Back and forth, back and forth. Then I noticed the family photo on the dresser. Mrs. Holloway, Mr. Holloway, Oliver, and another child. A little girl with black hair. Emily. Suddenly the closet door creaked open behind me. I turned slowly. A little girl stood there smiling. Her skin was gray, her eyes completely black, her neck twisted at an unnatural angle. "You're not Mommy," she whispered. My entire body locked with fear. "Oliver misses me," she said softly, taking a step closer, "but Mommy keeps me locked here." I stumbled backward. I should go. Her smile widened impossibly. "You opened the door," she whispered. "Now you stay." The room slammed shut behind me. The lights went out instantly. Then came scratching. All around the walls. Children laughing in the darkness. Tiny hands grabbing at my clothes from nowhere. I screamed and threw the door open, running into the hallway. But the hallway had changed. It seemed longer now. Darker. Every door stood open. And inside each room stood the same little girl staring at me, smiling. "Stay," they whispered together. "Stay with Emily." I ran toward Oliver's room. He sat awake in bed, trembling. "You opened her door?" he said, tears in his eyes. "Now she won't stop." Suddenly, pounding shook the house. The basement door downstairs slammed repeatedly. Bang, bang, bang. Then a woman's voice echoed through the house. "Oliver?" it whispered sweetly. "Come downstairs." Oliver screamed and covered his ears. "That's not my sister," he cried. "That's not her anymore." The hallway lights burst one by one. Shadows moved across the walls like crawling insects. Then I saw Emily standing at the end of the hall, her body twitching unnaturally. "He belongs with me," she whispered. Her jaw cracked open too wide. I grabbed Oliver's hand and ran downstairs. The front door wouldn't open. Every window was locked shut. Behind us came footsteps. Fast. Crawling footsteps across walls and ceiling. Then Emily dropped from the ceiling directly in front of us. Her smile stretched across her face unnaturally. "Nobody leaves," she whispered. Suddenly, headlights flashed through the windows. Midnight. The parents were back. Emily screamed. A sound so horrible it felt inhuman, and disappeared instantly. The front door unlocked by itself. Mrs. Holloway rushed inside. "Did you go upstairs?" she asked frantically. "I couldn't even speak." She looked at my face and knew immediately. Her expression fell. "I told you not to open that room." "What is she?" I whispered shakily. Mrs. Holloway started crying. "Emily died here 6 years ago," she said quietly, "but something came back pretending to be her. I left without taking the money. I never babysat again. Sometimes, late at night, I still wake up to 3 slow knocks on my bedroom wall, and once, just last week, I heard a little girl whisper outside my door. "You opened it," she said softly. "Now let me in."